the band back together again. Luka plays such a vital part. His ball control and how he's able to produce and get others involved was really missed tonight. A big part of it. And then you let LeBron out as well. So, yeah, be nice to get the game back together. That helps.
The Lakers just got absolutely demolished by the Boston Celtics in a game that was over before most fans finished their first beer. Down 29 points in the first half, missing both LeBron James and Luka Doncic, the Lakers watched Boston hit threes from absolutely everywhere, while their defense looked like it was stuck in quicksand. Austin Reaves dropped 36 points in a losing effort, but it wasn't nearly enough against a Celtics team that remembered how to play basketball without Jayson Tatum. This wasn't just a loss. This was a reminder of how brutal back-to-backs can be when you're already shorthanded.
Yeah, and part of the Lakers' success, really is significantly impacted by, Luka's ability to put pressure on the defense. Obviously, LeBron's games that he's played, the Lakers are 5-1. It's also the pressure that he puts on defenses. But tonight it was just more about energy and lack of ability to be disruptive on the defensive end. Mm-hmm. Just wasn't going to be able to get it done.
Go ahead.
And why you want to schedule the Lakers and Celtics on a back-to-back? Come on, that's a big game.
Make it a national.
I know everybody does it, but
it's just not great. That's what
that was a tough
Coach Kerr and a lot of the other coaches have been talking about for years. Sometimes we got to make some better decisions there.
Do you think the NBA needs to stop scheduling marquee matchups like Lakers-Celtics on the second night of back-to-backs?
He had a chance to take a shot at his buddy Luka, who wasn't there last night in the post-game interview. He's like, "Get back soon, Luka." All joking aside.
Yes.
LeBron also big game in Fish. He's only played 6 games this season. This was the second night of a back-to-back. He's got to be aware of what's going on with the sciatica and then, of course, the foot. This might be a thing all year, back-to-backs, maybe something they have to monitor, James, but I don't know. I mean, when you get to mid-January and LeBron is in the shape, I think he hopes to be in because he missed training camp for the first time, which we talked about in the pregame show. Maybe we'll see him in back-to-backs. But for now, you just got to think he's got to be smart.
Let's address the scheduling elephant in the room first, because it's absolutely ridiculous. The Lakers played in Toronto the night before, flew to Boston, and had to face the Celtics less than 24 hours later without their 2 best players. Who thought scheduling Lakers-Celtics, one of the most storied rivalries in NBA history, on the second night of a back-to-back was a good idea? This should be a national television marquee event where both teams are as close to full strength as possible. Instead, we got a glorified scrimmage where Boston practiced their three-point shooting on a Lakers team that looked exhausted from the opening tip.
Yeah, look, expected score, we were down to it at halftime. Expected score, we won by 2. First half, we had the highest paint touch rate we've had in a half, I think, or one of the highest paint touch rates we've had. We've been one of the best non-rim paint 2 teams in the league. We shot 5 for 13 there. They blitzed us from 3 and in that first half, and we outscored them by 1 the last 3 quarters. Unfortunately, that's not how basketball works, and you end up losing the game by 21. So I thought our fight was good. And there was a lot of moments when we certainly could have broken, and we didn't. And it's a credit to our guys.
J.J. Redick and multiple other coaches have been complaining about scheduling for years. Sometimes the league needs to make better decisions. This game should have been standalone, primetime, maximum hype. Instead, it was a blowout loss that nobody will remember except as a cautionary tale about why back-to-backs need to be eliminated, or at least managed better when it involves championship-caliber teams playing each other.
4 to start. He hasn't had a single game this year where he's been under 50%.
Brown takes it in and banks it home.
Doing a fabulous job on Austin Reaves.
Brown splits defenders. He hangs and hits. +1.
The first quarter was an absolute disaster for the Lakers. Boston came out firing, hitting threes from everywhere. The Celtics scored 39 points in the first quarter, while the Lakers managed just 17. That's a 22-point deficit after 12 minutes. At that point, most teams would mail it in and start thinking about the next game. Credit to the Lakers for not completely giving up, but realistically, this game was over before halftime.
LaRavia goes down. Can they create a highlight? Yes, sir. It's White with a 3.
Jaylen Brown set the tone for Boston with 30 points on 10 of 22 shooting. Without Jayson Tatum in the lineup, Brown stepped into the alpha role and reminded everyone that he's a Finals MVP for a reason. He hit 3 consecutive threes to start the second half, effectively ending any hope the Lakers had of making a real comeback. When your best player is cooking like that, and you don't have LeBron or Luka to match that firepower, you're toast.
Walsh, wide open look. He cans it for 3. Walsh has made 14 shots in a row.
For the year.
Walsh draws the assignment on Reaves, screen from Ayton. Reaves, the handles, the bump, the off-balance delivery, it doesn't go.
The Celtics were hitting everything. Jordan Walsh, who's not known as a sharpshooter, hit 4 threes. Derek White was knocking down shots. Even role players who normally don't get much run were contributing. Boston shot the ball incredibly well, and the Lakers had no defensive answers. Part of that is personnel. Part of that is fatigue. Part of that is just one of those nights where everything goes in for the other team and nothing you do matters.
Thinking a game here 2 years ago, right? No LeBron, no AD, and it was Austin Reaves going for 30+. That was a game where Vanderbilt was ridiculous in the first half, got hurt just before halftime, didn't play in the second half. So the Lakers have won shorthanded here before. You know, of course, now Austin Reaves will be at the very top of the scouting report, and they're going to deploy all their resources to try and slow him down. And remember, he played huge minutes last night, over 40. He had over 40 points, was spectacular as Toronto threw everything that they had at him.
Austin Reaves did everything he could with 36 points on 9 of 18 shooting. He got to the free throw line 17 times, which shows he was attacking and being aggressive despite the blowout scoreline. But here's the thing about Reaves. Even on an off night where the team is getting destroyed, he's still capable of getting you 30. That consistency and ability to produce regardless of circumstances is what makes him so valuable to this Lakers team. The game plan for Boston was simple. Focus defensive attention on Reaves since he was the only real offensive threat with LeBron and Luka out. They hounded him all night, played physical, and made everything difficult. And Reaves still got his 36. That's the mark of a player who's evolved into a legitimate star. When defenses game plan specifically to stop you and you still produce, that's when you know you've arrived.
Yeah, we're cognizant of his workload going into this game, and you know I'm sure Walsh will guard him some and pick up full court. So you know, we're going to do our best to have multiple ball handlers out there and get him off ball a little bit.
JJ Redick talked about expected score after the game, which is an analytics metric that measures shot quality. The Lakers actually had decent shot quality. They just missed shots they normally make, while Boston made everything, including several tough contested threes. Expected score said the Lakers should have won the second half by 2 points. They lost by 21 overall because that first half was such a catastrophe that no amount of good process could overcome it. The three-point shooting from Boston was absurd. Jaylen Brown, who's a low 30% shooter off the dribble from 3, hit multiple off-the-dribble threes. Jordan Walsh hit 4 threes despite the Lakers being willing to live with him shooting because they had to give up something defensively. Sometimes in basketball, the other team just makes shots they normally don't make, and there's nothing you can do about it. This was one of those nights. Gabe Vincent got extended minutes and responded with 18 points. Max Christie got playing time. Jalen Hood-Schifino saw the court. This is what the regular season is for. When you're down big and the outcome is decided, you use those minutes to evaluate your depth and see who can be trusted in certain situations. Coaches are watching film of every possession to see who guards who effectively, who executes the game plan, who competes even when the game is out of reach, if bench players can be trusted, if certain matchups work for potential playoff scenarios. You don't just punt the game and give up. You compete, you learn, and you build for later in the season when games matter even more. The Lakers did make a run in the third quarter to cut the lead to 15 at one point. They had a chance to get it to 12, but missed a 3. That competitiveness matters, even in a blowout loss. It shows that the team doesn't quit, that they're going to fight regardless of the score or situation. Championship teams show that kind of resilience, and while the Lakers didn't win, they at least showed they weren't going to roll over completely. James Worthy wanted the Worthy clap and the Worthy snap for the previous game's comeback win in Toronto. He didn't get it for this game, and rightfully so. You can't clap for getting destroyed by 21 points. But the effort to battle back from down 29 deserves some recognition. The team could have given up. They didn't. That matters more than people realize. The lack of LeBron and Luka was devastating for the Lakers' offensive rhythm. Reaves is great, but he's not built to be the solo primary option against an elite defense like Boston's. He needs help, and with both stars out, that help wasn't there. Max Christie and Gabe Vincent can contribute, but they're not creating offense at the level needed to keep pace with a team shooting lights out from three. The defense was the real issue, though. The Lakers couldn't get stops. Boston was getting whatever shots they wanted. Part of that is the Celtics just playing really well. Part of that is the Lakers being a step slow on rotations because of fatigue from the back-to-back. Part of that is not having the defensive presence and energy that guys like LeBron bring even when he's not scoring much. JJ Redick's comment about being willing to live with certain things defensively is important. You can't take away everything. Boston's offensive system is built on ball movement and three-point shooting. The Lakers chose to give up certain shots and make Boston beat them from specific spots. Boston made those shots. That's basketball sometimes. You make the right defensive decisions, and the other team executes anyway. The expected score metric showing the Lakers won the last 3 quarters by 1 point overall is interesting. It means that after that disastrous first quarter, the Lakers actually played competitive basketball. They just dug themselves too deep of a hole to climb out of against a team that wasn't going to stop shooting well. If this game starts differently, maybe it's competitive throughout. But that first quarter doomed any chance of a real contest. The free throw disparity tells part of the story too. Reaves got to the line 17 times because he was attacking. The Lakers as a team were aggressive, trying to get to the rim and draw fouls. But when you're down big, officials sometimes swallow their whistles on marginal calls because they don't want to be seen as trying to keep a blowout close. That's not a conspiracy theory, that's just human nature affecting officiating. The Celtics proving they can win without Jayson Tatum is important for their championship aspirations. Jaylen Brown showed he can be the #1 option when needed. Their role players stepped up, their three-point shooting was elite. That's a dangerous team when they're clicking, and the Lakers caught them on a night where everything was working for Boston, while nothing was working for LA. The scheduling complaint is valid because this game deserved better. Lakers-Celtics is must-watch television when both teams are healthy and rested. Instead, we got a game where one team was missing 2 stars and playing on 0 rest, while the other team was fresh and motivated to prove they're fine without Tatum. That's not the kind of product the NBA should be putting on national television. LeBron sitting the second night of the back-to-back is going to be the pattern all season. He's dealing with sciatica and foot issues. He missed training camp for the first time in his career. He's going to need rest, especially on back-to-backs. The Lakers have to accept that and plan accordingly. The hope is that by mid-January, LeBron is in the shape he wants to be in and can handle a heavier load. But for now, expect him to miss a lot of second nights of back-to-backs. Luka's absence was felt just as much. His ability to control the ball, create for others, and put pressure on defenses changes everything for the Lakers. Without him, the offense becomes much more predictable. Defenses can focus on Reaves and dare role players to beat them. That's not a winning formula against elite teams. The Lakers need Luka healthy and available, especially in big games against conference contenders. The silver lining, if there is one, is that these games happen. You're going to get blown out occasionally, especially on back-to-backs when you're shorthanded. The question is how you respond. Do you let it snowball into multiple losses? Do you come out flat in the next game? Or do you flush it, learn what you can, and move forward? The Lakers have shown resilience all season. This game shouldn't change that. The bench production was actually decent considering the circumstances. Gabe Vincent's 18 points off the bench kept the Lakers from being completely embarrassed. Max Christie contributed. Role players stepped up when given extended minutes. That's valuable information for JJ Redick to have going forward. He now knows who can be trusted in certain situations based on how they performed in a difficult game environment. The Celtics' three-point barrage is also a reminder of how the modern NBA works. If you get hot from three and the other team can't match that firepower, games get out of hand quickly. Boston made it rain from deep while the Lakers couldn't buy a three in the first half. That 20-point swing is almost entirely explainable by three-point variance. The Lakers actually got decent looks inside and at the rim, but couldn't convert while Boston was making everything from distance. The paint touches statistic that JJ mentioned is interesting. The Lakers had one of their highest paint touch rates of the season in the first half, but they only shot 5 of 13 on non-rim paint twos. Those are normally high percentage shots for this team. On a different night, maybe those go in and the game stays closer. But combined with Boston's three-point explosion, it created the perfect storm for a blowout. Austin Reaves continuing his incredible stretch of play, even in a loss, shows his growth. He's averaging 35 points over his last 16 games. He's shooting 48% from the field. He's been the Lakers' best and most consistent player this season. Even when the team loses by 20, he's still producing at an elite level. That kind of reliability is exactly why the Lakers will do whatever it takes to keep him long-term. The hope is that everyone is back healthy for Sunday's game. Luka should return, LeBron should be rested. The Lakers can put their best lineup on the floor and start building continuity again. They've used 11 or 12 different starting lineups in 22 games. That's not ideal, but it's the reality of injuries and rest management in the modern NBA. The sooner they can get consistent lineups, the better the team chemistry will be. The Lakers got crushed by the Celtics in a game that was over almost before it started, but there are lessons to learn from how they competed despite being down massive and shorthanded. Austin Reaves continues to prove he's a star, regardless of circumstances, and the team showed they won't quit even in blowout losses. The real test is how they respond when everyone is healthy and they face these elite teams again. Hit that like button if you think the NBA needs better scheduling, and subscribe for more Lakers coverage all season long.